Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about some dupes for three of my favorite perfumes: Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille, Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, and Alien Essence Absolue. There's different reasons why I wanted to find dupes. First of all, the Tom Fords are crazy pricey, so I wanted to find a more affordable option for those ones. And for the Alien Essence Absolue, for those of us that love it, we love it hard, but it's becoming harder and harder to find. So I wanted to find something that was pretty darn close that we could turn to if we couldn't find the original. So before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Weird and Wonderful family. And if you already have subscribed, thank you so much for coming week after week. I appreciate it so much. Without further ado, let's get into this. And let's start with Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. So Tobacco Vanille is one of my favorite scents. I just have a decant. Now this one, what I love about it is you get dried fruits, and then you get tobacco and vanilla. What I get mainly is kind of a boozy tobacco vanilla. And it's one of my favorite scents of all times. It totally puts me in a vibe. I think of Ireland. I want to go smoke a pipe. Kind of do. Like, seriously, I might actually take it up. But anyway, I love this scent. I think it's warm. I think it's deep and I love it. So I went on the hunt for some dupes and I found two that I wanted to talk about. So the first one is Frederico Mahora. It's from the Pure Royal line and it's number 906. So this is their dupe for Tobacco Vanille. And then I also want to talk about Perfume Parlor's Leaf Flavor 0401, which is their version. And so whether you want to consider it a dupe or an inspired scent, these are the two that I have. I would probably consider them more inspired because I think it's very, very hard to actually nail any perfume because, it just is. So let's start with the Frederico Mahora. So I've got Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille on this card and the Frederico Mahora on this one. So what I like about Tom Ford's version, like I smelt the Frederico Mahora and frankly, I was a little disappointed. So I know some people have said that this is like just spot on. Everybody's nose is different, but to me it was a disappointment. Now, Tobacco Vanille happens to be one of my favorite scents, so I love it hard. So I'm pretty picky. And I've tried other, dupes in the past and haven't found anything that really did it for me in this department. Frederico Mahora fell flat for me. And I was trying to figure out why. And I think the issue is in the Tom Ford version, the dried fruits mixed with the tobacco smells like a moist tobacco to me. So like a really fresh tobacco. And so with the dried fruit, the sweetness of the dried fruit and then the sweetness of a fresh tobacco, like just opening up a pipe tobacco that's new and smelling it, that's what I get in the Tom Ford version. The Frederico Mahora, it's missing, like the dried fruit isn't near as prominent, and then the tobacco is dry. Like it smells like a dried tobacco. So is it nice? Yes. So my son loves this perfume. It would be great to me for using as a layering perfume. It's fine on its own, but it just doesn't measure up to the original. So I would give this max an 80% likeness. So for me, this one fell flat. Now the Perfume Parlor version is way closer in my opinion. So even smelling them on the card, I get a little, like just a tad more sweetness from Tobacco Vanille, but on the skin, they smelt very, very similar. I got the same amount of freshness. So the Perfume Parlor version smells like a fresh tobacco to me. I'm getting a little bit more of that fruit, definitely more than in the Frederico Mahora. So they are very close. And on the skin, they're really, really close. So I would give these. Now, that said, in the opening, the Perfume Parlor, I was like, oh, This isn't, so you got to wait till that dry down, and then I think they're really similar. So I would give the Perfume Parlor version about a 95% likeness. So even on the card, they're smelling really pretty close. Like I wouldn't be able to pick them out if I was blindfolded. So I'm really impressed with that Perfume Parlor dupe. So yes, for Tobacco Vanille, out of these two, Perfume Parlor takes it for sure. So next, let's talk about Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. Now I've got just a tiny decant of this one. Now this one, in the opening, you get cherry, bitter almond, and liqueur. And I love the opening of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. It's kind of what sold me on it. I just love it. And yeah, I just can't get enough of it. However, the Tom Ford version is super duper expensive. Like it's like $400 for 50 mils, and the longevity isn't great. So this one, it opens with that beautiful cherry, and then in the mids, you get sour cherry, plum, rose, and jasmine sambac. Now I don't really notice any of those, but then in the base, you get, I'm going to just read it off because there's so many notes here. Tonka bean, Peru balsam, vanilla, benzoin, cinnamon, sandalwood, cedar, cloves, vetiver, and patchouli. Now, I don't notice the patchouli so much in this, but I definitely get the vetiver, the sandalwood, the cedar, the cinnamon, like all those kind of warm woods, a little bit of spice. Definitely get that in the original as it dries down. Now, the Frederico Mahora, I've got Pure Royal 900. Is their dupe. Now this one, even off the cap, you get that same tart, beautiful cherry scent. I've got it here on my card, and to me, they smell pretty close to identical. They're so close, it's crazy. The longevity of this one is decent, and honestly, the only thing I would say is this one has a bit more cherry than this one. But this one, I can smell the cherry throughout the whole entire wearing of the perfume. And the thing that makes this, to me, an excellent dupe is that you're getting that same journey with the perfume. So some perfumes stay linear. Dupes can stay pretty linear, especially. This Tom Ford Lost Cherry, you get that bright opening with the cherry, but then it dives into this wood. So it's definitely more of a storytelling perfume. And the Frederico Mahora captures that, in my opinion. So it's not quite as bright and delicious in the opening, but as it dries down, like you still get that cherry, as it dries down, you get all those woods. So it's so close as far as the dupe is concerned, and the longevity is, it's really, really good. Like I get, like this lasts longer than the Lost Cherry for sure. So if you're looking for a dupe, I highly recommend this one. If you're liking the full experience of the Lost Cherry, then this one is really close in my opinion. You get that cherry opening, but then as it dries down, the cherry kind of takes a back seat and you get the woods. This does it. Now, the problem is that what I realized is that I actually, you know, I'm always talking about how I like a story in a perfume, and I do. But with the Lost Cherry, what I'm really digging is that sour cherry liqueur vibe. I really love that. So I have a little decant of B. Layard's Cherry Delight. Now this one is way brighter, so it smells like an even brighter cherry. So whereas the Tom Ford and the Frederico Mahora would be kind of that dark red cherry, this isn't maraschino, like the B. Layard's version isn't maraschino cherry, but it's like a bright red cherry as opposed to a dark red cherry. So it's a little brighter, a little bit more tart, I'd say, a little bit more sweet, but there's no sort of story in this one. You're essentially getting a linear cherry scent. There may be a little bit of spice in there, but overall, this is just cherry. So if what you're looking for is the cherry in Lost Cherry, then go with the B. Layard version, Cherry Delight. If you're liking the full experience of Tom Ford Lost Cherry and a little bit more depth and kind of like a perfume developing, try the Frederico Mahora 900 because it's pretty darn close. I would give this about a 90%. And this one, I would give it honestly a 75 because it doesn't have any of those woods. It doesn't develop. But if you like the cherry, like that opening, this gives you that vibe. So from a vibe perspective, if you're liking the opening of Lost Ford, you're gonna get like a 95% in this. Like it's gonna really satiate that desire for that opening. But as far as a perfume being similar, the Frederico Mahora takes it this time. I hope that makes sense. If you have questions, just leave them because that's the best way that I can describe it. I like both of them. Honestly, if I were to repurchase again, I would be purchasing the Be Layered version because I basically want that hit of cherry as opposed to, like, I like the opening of Lost Cherry more than I like the dry down. So for me, if I repurchase a dupe, it would be the Be Layered version just because I like that opening more than I like anything else on Lost Cherry. So hope that makes sense. The last one that I want to talk about is Alien Essence Absolute. And this one, guys, I love this perfume. It's so beautiful. So you get the alien DNA, but then you get like myrrh and vanilla and incense, and it just takes it to this deep, sexy, sultry level that, it's just amazing. So the dupe that I have for you, or the inspired version, is the Frederico Mahora Pure Royal, and I think it's 359 is the number on this one. So this one, they're close. So they're close, but it's like it's missing its soul. I think that that's part of it. Like, so Alien Essence Absolue, there's a medicinal aspect to this where you spray it and you get that myrrh and that incense kind of right off the bat, and it kind of hits your nose. And at first you're like, maybe a little like, oh, what was that? But then it's almost like an addiction. Like you just can't get enough of that myrrh and that incense. It's just like, it's amazing. And it's strong, but somehow it's just, it's absolutely amazing. That the Frederico Mahora is missing that. So on the first spray, you don't get that. And even after these have been drying down for a while, this one you get that myrrh and that incense and that vanilla way more than in the Frederico Mahora one. So the Frederico Mahora, it's pretty close, like I'd give it about an 80% again, but it's like it's missing the soul of Alien Essence Absolute. So it catches kind of that outward exterior, kind of gives you the general vibe, but it's missing the depth that Alien Essence Absolute has. So yeah, it's pretty good. And if you can't find the original, give this one a try, and it may kind of, you know, satiate that craving for Alien Essence Absolute. Like I tried it and I thought, wow, this is bang on. But then the more I really tried to dissect it, the more I thought, no, it's not quite on. So it's pretty close, but not quite there. So yeah, those are my 3 perfumes. I feel kind of bad because I feel like I'm not sure. I hope that that was helpful. Again, like when I'm looking at dupes, to me, if I can buy a perfume, I'm going to buy the perfume. But some perfumes are just like crazy expensive, like some of the Tom Fords, or I don't really love it enough to want to drop that amount of cash, or I don't have that cash. And so I said this on my last video, dupes are a great way, or inspiration scents are a great way to be able to experience something for a lesser price. So sometimes you sacrifice a bit of quality. So on the Perfume Parlor and the Be Layered, I think actually the quality is really decent. I've tried many Be Layered fragrances and I really enjoy them and think that they're like, they smell like quality. The Perfume Parlor, I've tried quite a few of these as well. And maybe I'll share those with you at a different time. And the quality is up there again. Like I'm kind of impressed. Not as much as Be Layered, but pretty close. The Frederico Mahora, like I said, this one is pretty spot on. The Lost Cherry dupe, pretty spot on as far as giving you the majority of it. But all of the Frederico Mahoras, are missing a little bit of that quality. They feel a little thin. They feel like they're missing a little bit of soul, if that makes sense. That said, like, the bottles are really pretty. You get the overall gist of the perfume for really affordable prices. So, and the Frederico Mahora for me was definitely more affordable than Be Layered. Be Layered for Canadians is not a cheap purchase. Each perfume, like a 50 ml perfume, is going to cost me about $120 to get it across the border when you're paying shipping and all of that, and like, you know, taxes and exchange and just everything. They're expensive perfumes as well. So I'm gonna definitely delve into Perfume Parlor a little bit more. I tried the Prada La Femme in Perfume Parlor, and to me it smelled like a bug spray. Like, it didn't smell anything like Prada La Femme. So not sure what happened there, but other ones that I've smelled from Perfume Parlor have been pretty decent. So anyway, those are my 3 dupes. I'm sorry I couldn't find you a bang-on dupe for Alien Essence Absolue. I'm going to keep working on it and researching because I want to find you guys one. But in the meantime, here's a few options. As far as the Tobacco Vanille, definitely giving it to the Perfume Parlor Leaf Flavor 0401. For the Cherry Delight, or for the Lost Cherry, Frederico Mahora's 900 really hits it on the money as far as it being really similar. But the Be Layered gives you that bright cherry opening throughout the whole entire wear. So this one, if you're wanting that cherry, go with the Be Layered. And then the Alien Essence Absolue, I have mixed feelings. Definitely when I smell it on the card, the Frederico Mahora, it smells like Alien Essence Absolute. So I definitely get the gist of Alien Essence Absolute. It's just missing the depth of that myrrh and incense. It's still here in the Frederico Mahora, but just not quite where I want it to be. So the last thing that I want to say to you is, if you do want to explore the Frederico Mahora line, there's a whole wide range of them. I've tried a few. I've tried Baccarat Rouge. To me, it smells really similar to Cloud, but it's more affordable than Ariana Grande Cloud. I haven't smelt Baccarat like the original. I've smelt Alien. Like, there's a few that I've smelt that I think are really nice that I can bring to the table at some point with you. So there's lots of offerings from them. The prices are decent. And the lady that I went through, her name is Jacqueline. I'll leave all of her information down below. You have to email the company or the distributors or whatever. She's willing to give anyone that goes through me a 20% discount. So my code will be Maria Colette 20, and I'll leave it all in the description bar. You can contact her on Instagram, Facebook, or email. I think email. Maybe she wants Instagram more. I'll put it all in the description anyway for you. So just tell her Maria Colette 20 and she will give you 20% off. And just so you know, I don't get any sort of commission from that. That's just something that she wants to do for my subscribers. So if you're interested in checking them out, please feel free to do so. And let me know what you think. Like, maybe some of you have tried other Frederico Mahoras. Maybe you've tried other dupe houses. I really want to delve into Dua as well. For me, I just wanted to find some kind of more affordable ones for Canadians too. So Dua is not necessarily cheap either. Anything across that border is a little bit more pricey. So anyway, yeah, I guess I've talked long enough. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't a waste of your time. Like, yeah, no, I don't think it was. So I picked them apart really well. I'll also leave Frederico Mahora's catalog so that you can take a look at that. I'll leave, you know, Be Layered's website and Perfume Parlor's website there, so you can go explore and delve into the realm of inspiration scents. Yeah, so again, I think that's about it. All I can say is have fun. If you've smelt these, tell me what you think. Like, some people think that those are like that the Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille is spot on. So everybody's different in how their nose interprets it. Mine was maybe a little bit more picky than it needed to be, but I want to try and give you guys as much information as possible. especially if you're not able to sniff them beforehand. I want to be able to be as accurate as I possibly can for you guys. So that's it. Hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.